Author Stephen King says he wants more gun control laws. Is he sincere? Or is he just another hypocrite looking for gun control immunity? Learn a valuable lesson about escaping blame by just saying you're in favor of gun control, today on The 10th Man. Author Stephen King is busy tweeting his support for more gun laws. Here are 1, 2, 3 examples of his blaming people who did not do anything wrong and demanding they do something about the kind of crime he himself instigated. Blame someone else, it's a common tactic. Blame someone else and demand more gun laws, and you get gun control immunity. He learned this from the politicians. Whenever people die from violent crime in a democratic jurisdiction, we offer them our sympathies, and they angrily say, thoughts and prayers are not enough. Then demand the government of other safer areas, perhaps yours and certainly mine, put in place the very same laws which failed to protect them. It happened in California after 2 mass shootings days apart in January 2023. With 18 dead and 10 others wounded, Gavin Newsome, the governor of the state with the strictest gun laws in the nation, blamed Republicans for not doing more. After a shooting at Covenant Christian School in Nashville, Representative Justin Jones performed an act of drama on the floor of the House demanding action. Sir, 6 people were killed in your district. You should be resigning in shame, not criticizing the House members whose constituents are all alive. Then there's his partner, Justin Pearson. Pearson represents Memphis, the most dangerous city in America for 2020. But all they have to do is be in favor of gun control, and they become not the GOAT, but the hero. They get gun control immunity. The Democrats constantly promote gun control, but they never promise more safety, they only promise more gun laws. It isn't just American politicians blaming us for their problems. Foreigners too get immunity by supporting gun control. Justin Trudeau of Canada refers to the U.S. every time he proposes a new gun law. And Toronto Mayor David Miller, back in 2007, started the trend, blaming every murder in Toronto on Washington. Yet Canadian homicides reached record highs last year. In the U.S., they went down 5%. As gun ownership increased. How many lives saved is that, I wonder? Mexico has both the most violence and the strictest gun laws in the Western Hemisphere. There's only 1 gun store in Mexico, but they have 25,000 gun deaths a year. I think that's more murders than we have in absolute terms. But Mexican President Obrador says we need an assault weapons ban to solve their violence. And just by saying so, he gets immunity. Supporting gun control will not only absolve you from responsibility, it can actually catapult you ahead. Just look at these 2 ladies. After 3 mass shootings taking place on their watch, they cried and demonstrated and put the flags at half-staff. Then they promised to enact more gun laws, and Whitmer got reelected, and Elissa Slotkin announced her run for the Senate. If you want to know why something keeps happening, just look at who benefits. The mass shootings always benefit the media and the Democrats. They are the ones who control the narrative. It's no wonder that the deaths continue. So what does Stephen King have to do with all this? King is the author of the book Rage. This book is out of print now and forever because it provides the blueprint for a school shooting. With garage sale season coming, you should watch for a copy. This one, on eBay, bidding starts at $2,000. King's publisher stopped selling the book after it was linked to 6 school shootings. King should be in jail, not just for writing the book, but for being the person that would write such a book. You see, the young man who shot several classmates at Oxford High School in 2021 was first incriminated when he drew a picture of a gun during class. Remember, in our society, kids are suspended from school if they bite their Pop-Tart wrong, making a gun shape. And so the school counselors told him he shouldn't draw gun pictures but they failed to send him home as zero tolerance requires. The parents, who, like the boy, are pro-gun, are being blamed for his staying in school. The people who are actually in charge of who stays in school have been held harmless, while the parents have been rotting in jail ever since the shooting took place. The parents should immediately proclaim their support for gun laws and obtain gun control immunity like the school counselors and like Stephen King. Because although Stephen King is now in favor of gun laws, he started Rage when he was still in high school. It says so right here in the foreword. He didn't merely visit the shooting range and draw a picture of a gun. That was the Oxford shooter's only crime before getting called to the office. But King didn't just participate in the normal activities of a firearms enthusiast. He wrote out the methodology of taking a gun to school and using it to kill people and take hostages, complete with justification for doing so. And not just a single drawing, but 165 pages worth of planning. And that's way worse than a 7-year-old brandishing a Pop-Tart weapon. King finished the book in 1971, and it was published in 1977 under a pseudonym, Richard Bachman. It sold a few copies. Then in February 1985, the world discovered the book's true author. With the cat out of the bag, he reissued the book in this compilation, which is not worth $2,000. He capitalized on his fame and sales took off, selling perhaps 10 times as many copies as it did under the Bachman name. 3 years later, and with hundreds of thousands of copies in circulation, that's when the school shootings started. I'm calling them all shootings. The perpetrator did not always kill. The first was in 1988, and the last we know of in 1997. That was the high-profile West Paducah, Kentucky shooting of the kids in the prayer circle before school. In addition to all these deaths and injuries, King may have some responsibility for the many killed at Columbine, as he created the myth of the student who just takes hostages, where you just need to wait for his demands and not make him angry. The same passive response which killed all the kids at Uvalde, among others. And yet, for all this carnage, Stephen King is forgiven. Not just forgiven, but revered. He's written an essay on guns, and he is now considered an expert on gun control. He pulls no punches in this thought-provoking piece. I'm quoting the flap. People quote him like Confucius and all because he suddenly hates guns and gun owners. He donates any proceeds of his essay to Michael Bloomberg's gun control group, as if that's a lot of money and as if Bloomberg needs it. But it adds to Stephen King's status. So if you're ever in trouble, just yell for more common sense gun laws and they will let you go. Which just proves that public safety does not matter. All that matters is making more gun laws. You get fame, you get re-election, and above all, you get gun control immunity.